I said, what the hell? Can't sleep. Can't sleep, so I thought I would go on live tonight. What's good, everybody? Wait, see who's all going to come in the room now. I already got a like. Got 2 viewers. Wait till the room fills up a little bit. And begin this discussion. Gotta do something a little different. Since everyone's like, you keep talking about the pump and dump culture and stuff. Is there anything else you have in your repertoire? Nah. Yeah, Eagles fan for life. Your Sixers won tonight. I saw that. Yep. Let me let her know I'm on. Hey, Rick, bro, just letting you know I'm on. When you get on your Facebook, bro, I sent you the link. So if you have any questions you want to ask me in regards to today's topic, do aliens exist? And also, are aliens essentially God? Aliens, demons, whatever you want to refer them to. And man on the moon or man on possible Mars. And rumors has it of the first hotel room being built in space in 2027. And I will be going over all that. Wow. All right, Rick. So I sent you to Facebook, bro. Make sure that you feel free to go on the video and send me whatever questions you want to talk about in today's discussion. Yeah, but Eagles fan, a win is a win, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just waiting for more people to jump in the chat room and see who else is going to be in here. I decided not to. You're going to the cage by the Meadowlands Thursday to cash out. Oh, that's what's up, man. Like I said, I wish the best for your 76ers, dude. They looking pretty good, man. And like I said, I think it's going to be them and the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's already set. It's already hook, line, and sinker. And for the West, it's still kind of up in the air. If LeBron and AD are not fully healthy, they will not come out of the Western Conference. Basically, it's a toss-up in the West. I mean, you got a lot of good teams out there. Denver, Utah, Phoenix, Portland. I mean, the West is it's a crapshoot. Crabs in a bucket. So if LeBron and AD are not back, they both have to be back fully healthy for the playoffs. If not, there's no way they're coming out of the West. And I think this would give the Sixers or the Nets an actual chance to win the NBA Finals if the Lakers don't come out of the West. And it'll have to be like an underexperienced team like Utah or Phoenix that's not really well equipped for NBA Finals. And I'm not saying the Sixers aren't, but I think the Sixers, with the whole trust the process, they got a lot of, stars and veteranship and, more cohesion than the young Phoenix Suns do. A team like Utah does that chokes in the playoffs all the time. The Clippers the same way. Well, I mean, can Kawhi Leonard and them actually lead the Clippers to a Western Conference Finals? Because Clippers choked 2 3-game series lead and lost both to to Denver and to us. So I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, I know. Brittany, I actually sent you a message and I told you, hey, I'm about to go live. I just, Jennifer messaged me. Rick's been messaging me, said, man, I'm going to come up with some badass questions for you to cover in this article or whatever in regards to aliens and stuff. I really like this topic. I think you could probably go far. I'll probably do a Friday part 2 or something like that. But I know definitely I'm taking off tomorrow. Well, I might live stream the Rockets Hornets game. I'm not sure on that yet. But if I don't, I'm going to wait till Friday for sure, bro, to cover that. Now, let me go ahead and – hold on, Rick's messaging me on Facebook. Turn my speaker on. Hey, Rick, bro, just letting you know, yeah, I'm on live right now. And it's my voice clip, so just make sure that you click on the link that I sent you, bro. All right, so I sent him the link. I think this will be an interesting talk. I think a lot of people like to hear about, about this this particular topic. Well, actually, it's like 4 or 5 subtopics in the topic of, alien, do aliens exist and stuff like this. And, one in particular was Mars attacks. Now I know it was goofy, but the Martians came to the Earth. They pretended to be friendly at first. Then they started attacking everybody, and then it was like this bluegrass music that started killing people or started killing the aliens, and that's how they defeated them at the end. I'm trying to think of the one with Jodie Foster, Rick. Hey, Rick, what was the movie with Jodie Foster? That alien movie, was that Contact? The one where she came in contact with Okay, it was Contact. Okay, yeah, that was a really good movie. And basically, like, I'm trying to remember if Jodie used some sort of, like, it was a no, I'm not tired at all. Actually, she used some sort of Vegasar system, and it was like she was using it to like study the stars and the planets, and then she started picking up like a lot of sounds from what it was an alien that was actually speaking to her. And that was a really, really good movie. And it turned out that the alien was actually her father, if that made sense. It's kind of weird. Like her dad had died and then became an alien or some shit like that. Bro, that was a really good movie. Also, the movie Aliens that came out. I know that was more of like a futuristic type of film. Stuff like that. That was a good movie. That was Rick. That was one with Sigourney Weaver. Of course, that was a 1979 science fiction horror film, but that was a classic. It was Sigourney Weaver, Dan O'Bannon, Ronald Chouette, Walter Hill, Yaphet Kotto. He played as Parker. I mean, that was just a classic movie, the original Alien that came out in 1979. Then they tried to combine it with Aliens versus Predator and all that stuff, and it just got cheesy. I mean, there was like a couple of them, that were pretty good, but the original Alien to me was, in my opinion, the most scariest one, and the best one, in my opinion, was the original Alien. I hope more people come in the chat room, man. I hope so. Maybe we get into this whole like aliens talk. So what do you guys think? Like, do y'all think do y'all think aliens exist? Y'all think so? I mean, well, Rick, that was Alien World Season 1. That was a Netflix show. I mean, it was okay. You had Life official international trailer. You had Life. That was one with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds actually did star in a film. You had Red Band. You had the movie Life was pretty good too. That was a really good alien movie. It's a myth. You think it's a myth? You don't think aliens exist, bro? You don't think we've ever come in contact with them? Some people believe that aliens essentially are God. I mean, I know that's kind of like a weird saying if you think about it, but some people say there's a higher power and that there's a like a higher calling that we answer to. And many people have different interpretations on what God is. Some people believe in many gods. Some people don't believe in God at all. Some people believe, like, for example, Buddhists, they believe that God is in the form of like this big fat dude or whatever. And then you have Hinduism where they believe in like the goddess sun, the god is in the cow, like that could be a god, and stuff like that. You had the Mayas and the Incans that also had different forms of gods as well. Many people believe animals, believe it or not, or some people believe that is a higher power. Yeah, I did start kind of late, Brittany, but like again, I'm probably not gonna be up all night on this one. I'm not looking to be up till 3 or 4 a.m. I mean, if I can carry this conversation to 2 hours, if I could limit it to a 2-hour stream, that's good enough for me. I mean, if I could at least get about 10 viewers, that'd be fine, or even if it's 7 or 8, So what do you think, Brittany? Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe in that there's a life outside of Earth? Do you believe aliens are God? Do you believe they're demons? Some people believe that aliens are essentially demons casted down by God. when some people refer to Satan himself, many people, um, many people actually believe that aliens are Satan himself. I mean, there's many different interpretations on what people think that aliens are, and whether you want to believe it or not, you know, there has been rumors, believe it or not, that um, that aliens have touched down on Earth. Some people do. Some people do. Rick says, I do believe that we're not alone on this planet. I just don't know if it's in the form of what you see on Hollywood is referring to alien life forms or whatever. But I do think that we have other that we're not alone on this planet. I mean, we're not alone in this universe. And you know what? I kind of agree with that, Rick, because if you think of space in general, like space as an entirety is infinite. I saw your stream earlier, Ruthless Sports, with your sports stream or whatever, and your Moss jersey unboxing. But other than that, I haven't seen anything else. But anyways, let me get back to what I was going to say. Space is infinite, right? Because there is no like ending of space. Now, what you're ideally going to say is that if space expands, because space gets larger every year. So if space was to expand, you would imagine what's outside of the places that space has not reached. So scientists have put together a theory that there is nothing outside of space, like as it expands, even though there is something outside of the areas it hasn't touched. So therefore, by theory, you would have to assume that space is infinite, right? Because humans have not developed the the technology to be able to get past that point, nor even get on another planet, we could barely get on the moon. We have the technology to get to Mars. We've sent probes there just recently. We took pictures of all the atmosphere and all the beautiful, formations and the ground and all that. And that was a big win for what I'm saying, for scientists. But now you have other planets, other solar systems, other parts of the universe that we haven't touched. So you have to figure, in theory, sooner or later, we got to be able to, see what's on the other side of the universe. Yes, Brittany, it is. So if you want to take care of it, you can. Mars people are supposed to be aliens. So let me ask. I thought watching Total Recall was real till I realized it was fake. So let me ask you something, Bully. Do you think we're alone outside the universe? Do you think we are alone? Do you think we're not alone? I mean, even if you said, well, I don't believe it's aliens, but do you believe there's something else out there? Do you believe there's some other form of extraterrestrial life form? Maybe it's a microorganism, maybe it's a dinosaur, maybe it's other people that look like us. Like, do you believe that there are other forms of life form outside of us? Well, I know you're not an astronaut, but like, what do you feel personally? Like, because like none of us can prove or disprove that they're aliens. But you have some people that believe that we're not alone. Some people believe we aren't. I go by the theory, I'd like to think we're not alone, because space is infinite. So I'm thinking with other planets and stars and galaxies, there has to be something else. Like it could be microorganisms living on, a host of some sort, like bacteria, like they say, fungus lives on you, or let's say, an alien form. It could be just something totally different. I watch too much X-Files or UFO. Well, not necessarily. I don't really touch base on this topic a lot because, again, I'm not really a fan of this topic necessarily. But I like to think that there is a little interest, because I do believe that man should be on the moon again. I do believe that we could get man to Mars. I'm somewhat into astronomy. I think if the technology's there, let's use it. Let's see what else we can find out there. Can life exist outside of Earth? Can we be able to build a new civilization, a new planet, and stuff like that? Well, we banned. You look mad tired. Well, the other one that said you look mad tired is legit. The other one that's coming in that what's his name just banned is not legit. Hello, Stephen. Right. Well, demons of topics sounds good. I'm in all, no doubt. Well, I mean, let me answer Rick's question real quick. He's messaging me on Facebook. He's a former manager of mine anyway. Hold on one second. I'm going to send him this on Facebook. Hit the record now. Hey, Rick, get your bitch ass on Facebook and start sending some more questions. Nah. Get out of the fucking kitchen. Nah. Send. All right, send it to him on Facebook on the record. All right, so Rick is typing. Probably going to cuss me out. Rick said, first of all, Stephen, there is life outside of the universe. You would be stupid not to think so. The space is too large. It's too large out for there not to be. In fact, how did we become who we are today if, in fact, there aren't other life forms outside of here? There's no way, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, that a bunch of there was one giant planet exploding into a million stars. You would have to assume that there's other life forms on some of these planets, that we couldn't be possibly the only one. Well, Rick, I mean, again, space in theory is infinite, even though it's not. And let me explain. Scientists discover that space expands, and that every year, every century, space expands by so many feet. The scientists discovered. So you have to figure if space is expanding this way? Is it expanding up here? Is it going this way? So in theory, you would figure if space is expanding from left to right, then you would have to assume then what's above and what's below. What is outside of space? That the places that space hasn't reached. Okay, well then if space is also expanding from left to right, then whatever areas space did not touch, what is outside of that box? Is space actually a black hole in itself, if you think about it? Because we talk about little miniature black holes that are in every single galaxy, where anything that gets sucked into it cannot escape, right? That's one place where light travels into that can't get out. So in theory, if space expands and it takes over whatever is outside of that, which we don't know what's outside of that area, then you would have to assume that space is a black hole, and that space itself sucks everything that it touches as it expands. So in theory, scientists came up with the idea that space is infinite based on its expansion, not based on the fact that space has expanded beyond its reach. So therefore, you would have to assume that space is infinite based on expansion, not based on the fact that it has already reached its potential, because space keeps going and going and going. And believe it or not, there is a stopping point to space, believe it or not. There is, but the problem is, how far is it? And outside of space, what is on the other side? And how long does it take before space encounters that area? And it just keeps going. So the idea that scientists came up with, they just said it's infinite. That's all you can say. It's like, for example, let's say, let's say infinity. Okay. So when you're counting and you count in your mind, what is infinity, right? Infinity is defined as an endless number. It's an endless number. So in theory, when you're multiplying numbers, I could have $1 billion, but guess what? I could have $1 trillion in the bank. I can have quintillion dollars in the bank. And the number can what? Expand. It keeps going and going and going. So even though we use numbers of multiplication, addition, subtraction, and all that to determine simple mathematics, but in theory, the number itself that you can max out is actually infinite. You can actually go and go and go and go and go, and it never stops. Right? So in theory, that's how space is. It just keeps going and going and going. There is, but believe it or not, unlike numbers, space actually does have a point where it stops. But the problem is that we don't know how far that is, and we don't know how long that'll last, because space just keeps expanding. So in theory, we just say that it's infinite. Rick had a question to ask for the panel. Brandon Tolliver, what's up, man? Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, Rick wants to know. He says, "Hey, Stephen Rose, I just want to know what alien movie do you think best resembles what possibly could be outside life force?" Wow. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I've seen a bunch of sci-fi movies. I've seen, Typical Contact with Jodie Foster, 97 film. I've seen Aliens, 1990s, 1979, Sigourney Weaver. I've seen those movies. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Mars Attacks, cheesy film. I've seen, what is it? What do they call that? Starship Troopers, Star Wars, and all this shit. I mean, all that predominates to space wars and shit. Star Trek, The First Voyage. I mean, many people have interpretations of what aliens are. Some people say it's demons. Some people say they were casted down by God. Some people say they don't exist. Some people say they are God. In fact, Tom Cruise worships an alien, believe it or not. In fact, I'll type it in for you if you guys don't believe me. If you heard of Scientology. Okay, hold on real quick. Xenu. Okay. There is a alien that a religious group that scientists believe in. Many scientists believe in this. And Tom Cruise endorses this alien by the name of Xenu, spelled Xenu. And allegedly, Xenu is he's the god of the universe. So let's go ahead and read what Xenu is. Xenu, also called Eximum, which is Xemu, was, according to Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard, the dictator of the Galactica Confederacy, who brought billions of his people to Earth, and then known as Tiageek, in DC-8-like spacecraft 75 million years ago, stacked them around volcanoes, and killed them with hydrogen bombs. What scientists actually believe. Among the basic tenets of Scientology are beliefs that human beings are immortal, that a person's life experience transcends a single lifetime, and that human beings possess infinite capabilities. Scientists present two major divisions of the mind. What is OT8 in Scientology? OT, operating theory level 8, is the highest current audited level in Scientology. The solo audited level addresses the primary causes of amnesia in the whole track and lets one see the truth of its own existence. Wow. So see, they have like a whole breakdown of this. They even say, where do Scientologists go after they die? They say that Scientologists believe when a person dies, or in Scientology terms, when a thetan abandons its physical body, they go to a landing station on planet Venus, believe it or not. So basically, Tom Cruise endorses Xenu, and allegedly Xenu lives on the planet Venus. Okay. And Xenu actually operates the higher being. He is actually the ruler of the universe, and he lives on Venus. Well, now why on Venus, I have no clue. Yeah, I heard that Colorado shooter was a Biden supporter. I heard about that, Mr. Bob K. So obviously aliens come from Finland. Well, according to Scientology, aliens come from Venus, not Mars. Now say men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Hey, ladies, there you go. He said that aliens are from Venus, not Mars. Yeah, Tom Cruise says now that Xenu is ultimately God, and that we are supposed to be praising him. And allegedly, he is a life form on Venus, and when we die, we actually go and hang out with him over there. Now, I don't know what that means, but apparently, our next life is on Venus. So if we die, in theory, we're going to Venus, everybody, according to Scientologists. Let's see. Where do Scientologists? It said here you go on a landing station on planet Venus, where the Tenton is reimplanted and told lies. Yeah, they said that we basically go to Venus. Do scientists believe in heaven? So Scientologists, they do not believe in heaven or hell, although central belief is the idea that an individual has lived before and will live again. There is no concept of heaven and hell. Okay, so apparently Scientologists do have some beliefs that they do in reincarnation. So they do believe that there's no heaven and hell. That when you die, you just come back. It's like respawning again. Like, you play a video game and you die and you respawn. Honestly, demons and aliens are Saturn beings. Look up the cult of Saturn. The death cult over time, over life. Okay. Somebody's imposing me. Oh yeah, Bob Keller. Yeah, that's it wasn't me. Somebody's imposing me. Okay, yeah, that's what's his name? That's Nectar. Put user in timeout. Yep, there you go, Bob. That's how you know it's not you. Yep. That's why I gave wrenches to people I know, that I know is legit, and to the people that don't. If you know it's not you guys and somebody's making a fake profile of you, just tell me, and when you delete the person, you'll know it's not them, because only their account gets erased. And that for that reason, I'm not giving out any more wrenches anytime soon because of this guy, But anyways, back to what I was going to say. So Scientology is the belief that there's no heaven and hell, right? And Tom Cruise is the lead endorser of this movement. And Tom Cruise is a high celebrity. Everybody knows who Tom Cruise is. If you don't know who he is, Jerry Maguire, the War Worlds. I mean, we can go on and on. Tom Cruise is a very good actor. He's played Mission Impossible. I mean, I can name more and more movies he's played in, but that's irrelevant. The point is that, Tom Cruise has been promoting this on his YouTube channel for a very long time. I want to say maybe the last 4 or 5 years now. Is that the idea that there's an alien named Xenu that ultimately is God? That's who we answer to, and he lives on Venus. Now, I don't know how they came up with this idea that he lives in Venus, but there is no heaven and hell in Scientology. In Scientology, it's the belief that when you die, you go to Venus and you respawn again on Earth, and as in some sort of reincarnation. Now, I don't know what the timetable is. Maybe you got to wait another year or two before you're born again. I don't know exactly. I haven't read too much into Scientology. Just read a little bit into it, but basically, it's the belief that there's no heaven and hell. You die, you go to Venus, you report to Xenu, you come back on Earth a couple of years later, and you reincarnated under somebody else. And that's sort of the idea. That's the idea. And so, to be honest with you, many people have different beliefs on what God is. Now, you're going to say, what does that have to do with aliens? Well, some people believe that aliens is God. Some people believe aliens are demons. Some people don't believe in aliens. Some people believe that there are microorganisms that exist outside of here, that they're not in the form of what you see in Hollywood with these aliens and Roswell and Area 51 and all this. Some people believe it's microorganisms, because if you think about it, in life, we started off as microorganisms that went onto the earth from a broken meter, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, that it was a huge planet. It exploded into a million stars and millions of rocks, meteorites, and all that stuff. And that the idea that our microorganisms came from a fallen meteorite and landed on Earth, believe it or not. Some people say that that humans in prehistoric time were not originally human. They were more of a more reincarnated animal, right? And that when the meteor hit the Earth, that microorganisms came off of there, fell into the ocean, and slowly developed and developed, and then ended up getting on water because allegedly we were fish. We had gills. We were smaller, and we started off in the ocean. And that once we got on land, after millions and millions of years, our gills fell off. That we were able to walk on water. I mean, out of water. We were able to walk on land. I apologize. And then from there, you had the 7 stages of different types of humans. Then you got the missing link, which some people believe that the woolly mammoth is the missing link. There's like a debate on what that missing form, but apparently humans have evolved from 7 different phases. So if you follow the forms of history and the forms of all the millions of years and all the rumors and all the different types of beliefs, we have different interpretations on how we got here and how this began, and then different beliefs and how this happened. Is there an explanation? Is there not an explanation? Why are we here? And then it comes to lead to belief about, do we exist in this planet? Do we exist outside this planet? Because there's also the idea, and this was Rick was telling, Rick, you were telling me this on Facebook the other day when we were on Facebook group talk. You said verbatim that there are other humans that look just like us, that look exactly like us, but they're on different galaxies. So if you think about it in theory, man, it's very fascinating to hear different points of view on, are aliens God? Are they not God? Are there people that exist outside of this planet? Are there other planets that can inhabit a human life? If so, is there human life there? Is there other organisms or mammals or animals that live there? Fish, maybe marine life. I mean, maybe it's not humans. Maybe there's other forms, other life forms that are there that may not be us. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, just maybe, there may be a higher superior being. If you watch the movie Coneheads, there was a reference that Dan Aykroyd made where he said that behind the scenes that he believed at one point that there were humans on Mars, and that he believed that they were in the shape, that our heads were shaped in a triangular sphere. And he actually believed in that. And he was going around talking about that and wrote a book on it too. I said, wow, that's pretty fascinating that, you know, people have these different beliefs and stuff. And whether you want to believe it or not, you know, is your opinion. But it's pretty cool to see that, you know, the unknown gets what? People talking. People like, okay, start banning those accounts when you start seeing that troll in there, putting them in timeout. All right, and that's also not Zargon either. That's not Zargon, because Zargon doesn't talk like that. So you're going in timeout too. Let me go ahead and read some of the comments, Rick, real quick before you send me some more questions. It's called Doping Ganger. Okay, I got to watch that. There isn't a single bit of proof anywhere on this planet in biological evolution of human beings. Okay. We now know that microorganisms from outside of this world can be for them infinite outer space or even rolling dimension configuration of conjunction. We know the only things. Well, Adam, if you don't believe in it, then you will be done. Adam says, well, that sucks. I don't want to be recreated. I just want to die and be done. Jennifer said, no need for heaven and hell. When you believe they're all the same thing, that is Kabbalah. Okay. Bob Keller, give you a shout out too, man. Unknown, what's going good, bro? Who typed the above statement? I took care of it already. Let's see who else is in here that I don't know. Brandon Tolliver says, what's up? What's up, bro? Ruthless G, what's up, bro? I don't think he believes that. He said he's not an astronaut, but you don't have to be an astronaut to believe in extraterrestrial life forms. You don't have to believe in that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Many people believe that there are many gods. Like Hinduism, they have more than one god they believe in. They believe they believe a cow is God, believe it or not. That's why a lot of them don't eat meat, because they believe that the cow you're killing is actually God, believe it or not. You know, and like I said, I've been asked this question for years. You know, we've had these discussions before off air with some of my buddies. You know, is there extra life? Who do we answer to when we die? Who is God? What is God? Was he? How do we know it's not a she? You know, stuff like that. You know, we get in all these different debates on how we interpret God to look like. And you go in people's houses and they have different like shrines and different like, you know, Jesus of a white Jesus, Jesus of a black Jesus, Jesus of a brown Jesus. You got, you know, a cow that's Jesus. You got all these different things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so hard to believe. And the reason why, like people say, well, why are you talking about God and aliens and that separate entity? Yeah, in a way, it's a separate entity, yes. But in a way, it could be tied as a two, because people believe that alien life forms, some people believe that that is God. Scientology says that Xenu that lives on Venus is God. And allegedly, he's God of the universe. Now, why he would pick Venus of all planets, I don't know. Personally, I'd pick Mars. That's just me. But allegedly, he is a god, according to Scientology. And Tom Cruise is a high believer of this. He believes that Xenu is God. Now, of course, Tom Cruise is a little bit off his rocker. He has been since, you know, he's gotten a little older. He's not really all there in the head. But, you know, he's a firm believer of Scientology. Rick says after his divorce, that guy's been off his rocker. Yeah, Rick, after his divorce with old girl from, what did she used to play in? I can't think of her name, Kelly, or what was her name? I don't remember the girl he used to be married to, but that was when Tom Cruise made a fool out of himself on Ellen. He's like, oh, I love this girl and stuff. I really do. Oh, I love this girl. And he starts shouting, I fucking love her. I fucking love her. I swear to God. I swear to God. I love her. And he started dancing and making a fool out of himself. And everybody was just laughing at that fool, you know? But I mean, he was like acting like a super simp in a sense. But at the same time, like he was kind of professing his love. So he looked legit, but then the divorce, and he ended up having many affairs on her. So I guess that love really didn't last too long. Nah. Katie Holmes, there you go. Brittany, there you go. I personally don't believe in a God. Well, like I said, there are many gods at Stephen Rose. I got mine through. We should have our own God. Hey, Jennifer, can you tell me yeah, Katie Holmes. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. I have to say this. Jennifer, what were you referring to this to the planet Saturn? I'm gonna look that up real quick. Okay, Rick says, could you go more into do Scientology believes in heaven? This is what it says here on Wikipedia. Scientologists do not believe in heaven or hell, although a central belief is the idea that individuals have lived before and will live again. There is no concept of heaven and hell. Actually, there is another celebrity that supports Scientology. Actually, Nose Quarters 1 is legit. Hey, Brittany, Nose First Quarters legit. Don't ban him. Unban him if you can. Yeah. Nose Quarters 1, I know him. He's legit. When the only time you know it's Nundar is when he starts talking highly perverted and shit, and he starts talking that gay shit and starts talking crazy shit. When you know it's that account, that's Nundar. Ban it. Anyways, that guy, I swear to God, Rick said that guy Nunsdar has no life. He literally is obsessed with you, Steven. He obsesses with you more than A-Bomb. Yeah. He don't even fuck with A-Bomb no more. I was just talking to A-Bomb about it earlier. He's like, no, that dude don't even fuck with me no more. He just comes after you now. I'm like, wow, that's just insane. I think that dude has a man crush on me. Rick says, I think he seriously low key has a crush on you. Rick, that's what it seems like. I've never seen a man do this like this before, bro. I have to question that dude. And allegedly he has a girlfriend too. Look, bro, this is not the first time. This is not the first time. Zargon, first of all, you never talk like that, so I know that's not you. Zargon7, that's not him. That's not his account, it's a troll account. Because he never says a hard R like that. And first of all, nobody even called you that name either in the chat room. So yeah, you're gonna get timed out again, dude. Anyways, let me go ahead and go back to this real quick. How many Scientologists are there? There are roughly 100,000 Scientologists, Rick, but the membership has recently dipped to about 20,000. So obviously, Scientology is not as popular as it used to be. Let's see. Who's famous in Scientologists? Okay, do you guys want to hear all the celebrities that support Scientology? Scientologist headquarters in Clearwater, Florida, 10 miles away. Okay. Here, I'm gonna tell you guys. You were talking about in public. Okay, that. Wait, you were called that in public? I'm sorry to hear about that, bro. Okay. Anyways, let me go ahead and name you guys the actors and actresses that support Scientology. Okay, here we go. Hey, Zargon, I'm sorry to hear about that. Whoever told you that, I apologize for them, bro. That's not right. Nobody should say that. Okay, here goes the people that support it. Christy Alley, Annie Archer. Trying to think who the hell is Annie Archer. Hold on, let me look that name up real quick. I know who Christy Alley is, obviously. She played in a TV show Always Sunny in Philly. I know who she is. Okay. Catherine Bell. Catherine Bell is also a Scientologist. She believes in Scientology. Catherine Bell. All right, let's see who else. We have Nancy Cartwright. Look that one up. Nancy Cartwright. She played in what? My Life as a 10-Year-Old Babe, 10-Year-Old Boy, Henry Adventures at the Franklin Hotel. Okay, I'm not really exactly. I'd have to watch some of her movies to recognize her because I don't know everyone. We got Erica Christensen. Okay, who is that? I can recognize them by face. I think I remember who she is. Let's see who she is. She's an American actress, singer who filmography includes roles like Traffic, Swim Fan, The Banger Sisters, The Perfect Score, Flight Plan, How to Rob a Bank, The Torture, and The Case of Christ. Okay, I think I kind of know who she is. Chick Corea. Let's see. Chick Corea was actually a musician, and he actually died this year, February 9th, 2021. But he was Spain, Light as a Feather, 1973, Armando's Rumba, My Spanish Heart, 1976, 500 Miles High. Okay, so he was a musician then. His instruments were piano, keyboards, the vibraphone, and the drums. Okay, so apparently he passed away just recently, and it's unfortunate, you know. Maybe he's on Venus now. And of course, we got another one by the name of Jason Doring, Dohring. He is 38 years old from Toledo, Ohio. He's an American stage, television, and voice actor who's best known for his role in Logan Echoes on the television show Veronica Mars, 2014 film. Okay. I know who Veronica Mars is, so obviously then I would assume that I know who he is. And of course, you got the infamous Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is also a Scientologist. And yeah, those are just some of the notable. The founder is Ron Hubert. He is the founder of. He actually founded the Church of Scientology. Let's go a little bit into his background real quick. Since Rick is asking me to do that, I decided to dip a little bit into Scientology. Okay, guys, when you start seeing those trolls just and they're being obvious, just go ahead and just start banning. Yeah, just ban him. It's Nunsdar. And it's funny because Nunsdar calls me a racist. But look at what he's saying. Huh. Boy, I swear to God. These guys, you just can't make this up. Okay, Layford Ronald Hubert, born 1911 to January 24th, 1986, was American author of science fiction and fantasy stories who founded the Church of Scientology in 1950. Hubert authored Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health, and he established a series of organizations to promote Dianetics. In 1952, Hubert lost his rights to the Dianetics in bankruptcy proceedings, and he subsequently founded Scientology. Therefore, Hubert oversaw the growth of the Church of Scientology into a worldwide organization. Born in Toledo, Nebraska in 1911, Hubert spent much of his childhood in Helena, Montana. After his father was posted to the U.S. Naval Base in Guam, Hubert traveled to Asia and the South Pacific in the late 1920s and 1930s. Hubert enrolled at George Washington University to study civil engineering, but dropped out in his second year. He began his career as a prolific writer in the pulp fiction stories and married Margaret Polly Grubb, who shared interest in the aviation. Hubert was an officer in the Navy during World War II, where he briefly commanded 2 ships but was removed from command both times. The last few months of his active service, he was spent in the hospital being treated for various complaints. Scientology became increasingly controversial during the 1960s and came under intense media, government, and legal pressure in a number of countries. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, Hubert spent much of his time at sea on his personal fleet of ships as comrade of the Sea Organization, as elite quasi-parliamentary group of Scientologists. Hubert returned to the United States in 1975 and went into seclusion in the California desert. And after unsuccessful attempt to take over the town of Clearwater, Florida, in 1978, Hubert was convicted of fraud after he tried in absentia by France. In the same year, 11 high-ranking members of Scientology were indicted on 28 charges for their role in the church's Snow White program, a systematic program espionage against the United States government. One of the indicted was Hubert's wife, Mary Sue Hubert, who was in charge of the program. L. Ron Hubert was named an unindicted co-conspirator. Hubert spent the remaining years of his life secluded in a luxury motorhome on the ranch in California, attended by a small group of Scientology officials. He died age 74, January 1986. Following Hubert's death, Scientology leaders announced that his body had become an impediment to his work and had decided to drop his body to continue the research of another plane of existence. Though many of Hubert's autobiographical statements have been found to be fictitious, the Church of Scientology describes Hubert in hagiographic terms, which hagiographic is a saint or a eccentrical leader, and by extension, an adultery and idolized biography of a founder, saint, monk, nun, or an icon in any of the world's religions. Okay, so he was looked upon as like a charismatic leader, basically, in terms, and rejects any suggestions that his account of Hubert's life is not historical facts. Okay, so he was a criminal charge with petty theft in 1948, fraud and absentee in 1978. He was fined $35,000 and he spent 4 years in prison unserved. Okay, so he didn't do any time. Wow. So you have to admit, and he served in the military. I mean, this guy's got a big history, both good and, some controversial. But to be fair, Ron Hubert, is a seems like a pretty educated guy. They surrounded Crowley and used him for their agenda. This 8 camel toes guy was trolling A-bomb too. I don't know if they exist, but I heard about those 2 guys that got abducted and they were fishing. They had lie detectors done. Yeah, Crowley was a perverted lunatic. Want to hear a joke, CG Bully? No, we don't want to hear any jokes from you, bro. We've heard too many from you. And I see the trolls love coming in here. There's got a lot of troll accounts, man. Y'all got this. I'm switching laundry and going to bed. Okay, well, good night, Miss Living a Balanced Life. Let's see who else is in here. Nancy Cartwright was the tech voice of Bart Simpson. Wow, okay, that's all I know about her. Just saw your comment, Jennifer. I agree with that. Cabal is a source of order, a form of hardships of the elites. And yes, they do worship Saturn as the father of time. Okay, so I got to look that up. Most celebrities promoting Scientology should be a negative sign. Actors are literally hypocrites. Yeah, I do agree with that. A lot of them are out of their fucking rocker. The overdramatic display by Cruz was someone acting the way he thought he should act if they were saying it was true. It was almost a psychotic break. Yeah, I think that dude lost. Like I said, I think after Chronos and Saturn is, as the name, ate his own children and kept the power and did too. Wow, okay. So let me type that in. I'm going to look on Chronos and Saturn. Give me a second. Let's see what it says. Oh, Cronus and Saturn? Wow. It's like a big, huge guy eating kids. The Greek mythology, Cronus was a son of Uranus and Gaia. He led his brothers and sisters, the Titans, in revolt against their father and became the king of the gods. He married the Titan Raid. The Romans adopted Cronus as the god of Saturn. Wow. Are Saturn and Cronus the same? The planet Saturn, named after the Roman equivalent of Cronus, is still referred to as Cronus in modern Greek. It's interesting. What god is Cronus? Cronus, you spell Cronus with a C or Cronus with a K, is an ancient Greek religion, male deity who was worshipped by a pre-Hellenic population of Greece, but probably was not widely worshipped by the Greeks themselves. He was later identified as Roman god Saturn. Wow. Let's see. Who was Saturn the father of? Saturn, according to Roman mythology, is Jupiter's father. Wow. So, Brittany, if you're on here, Saturn is Jupiter's father. Let me go ahead and text that to Brittany real quick. CG Bully likes men. When y'all see that on there, just start deleting that shit. That's Nunzar. Unfucking believable, dude. Saturn is Jupiter's father in Greek mythology. I'm typing that to Brittany right now. Okay. All right, so I text that to Brittany real quick. Nunzar, please post my mom's number in this chat. No, dude, I'm not posting shit in there, bro. Get the hell up out of here. Fucking piece of shit. I want nothing to do with you, bro. Why do you keep talking to me, bro? I don't want to be friends with you, motherfucker. I don't want to be cool with you or nothing. You don't mean nothing to me, bro. Why do I care to be friends with you? Why do you care so much about my channel, bro? I don't care about you, bro. I don't go to your channel. I don't fucks with you. I don't care to fucks with you. I don't care about you, bro. Stop coming to my shit. I'm not a fan of Crowley, but I see what happened there. It does seem like extreme religion. Yeah, it does. It's true. He put himself around deranged people. No, we're not gonna call Nunsdar's mom. I get broads for days. No, we're just gonna. I'm not even gonna fuck with the dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to ignore him. You know what I'm saying? I don't even fucks with the dude like that. I could care less about his life. That's the thing. He actually thinks I care about his life. I don't. I don't. I have my own life to live, bro. You worry about the people that are doxing you, bro. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm not even the one that's doxing you. I don't even know how to. I couldn't even dox myself. If I can't even dox myself. More people know about how to work the computer than I do, I'll tell you that. I'm not a master pro. These demons are much blessings. Keep moving forward. I'm a Christian, as you know. We're not ashamed of our Lord and faith. Trolls, meaningless talk. Facts. You don't need to post tons of our numbers. She'll just get to it sooner or later. She just needs enough time. There must be something in planetary system because most ancient civilizations worship the sun and other planets. Yeah. The demons are in the people and they use them for what they cannot do. Aliens or demons are weak, actually need people. Yeah. So let me ask you guys a question. All right. Let me go ahead and ban that one. This is another one to ban. Okay. Rick had a question for the panel. He wants to know, do you guys believe that aliens exist on Earth? Think about it. If you ever seen the movie Arrival, that was the one with Martin Sheen. Not Charlie Sheen, but his brother Martin Sheen. Remember when there were aliens on the Earth and they were in the form of go type in the Arrival and go type in Martin Sheen. It was like a 90-something film. And basically there were aliens pretending to be humans and they were on Earth. Nah, don't post it, Riley. Don't post any of this information in here. I don't want him to blame us in case he calls the police. I mean, but think about this though. It was Charlie Sheen, cool movie, but for its time, yeah. But did you know that the aliens bent their knees? Like, you know how we have our knees and we bend them forward? They actually bent the knees backwards. And they run with their knees bent backwards. Like, you know how you're standing and you bend the knees and go down like a squat? Well, instead of their knees bending like this, they bend like that. So their knees will bend like this and they run like a raptor, almost like a raptor almost. And they run really fast. And I remember at the end of the movie, check this out. Charlie Sheen looks at that black kid that was an alien because that kid was actually giving the aliens information about the people on Earth. Charlie Sheen figured out at the end, he said, hey, you tell your friends, I know. And when the time is up, we're going to come for them. That this is war. And that black kid looked at him and all of a sudden his legs bent backwards and he ran off into the sunset to like a pasture, like was running and running and running. And next thing you know, Charlie Sheen exposed him as an alien. Now there was another one like that. It was called They Live. And that was one with Roddy Piper. And I want to say Arsenio Hall real quick. Let me get a chance. They Live, the movie. John Carpenter's. It was a John Carpenter 1988 film. It was starring with it was a John Carpenter film. 13 million in the box office. The budget was 3 million to make the movie. You had Roddy Piper, Megan Foster, Keith David actually was he played as Frank in the movie. Peter Jason, George Buck Flower. That was a really good movie. That right there, they were disguised as humans And they controlled the networks, they controlled government, they controlled everything. And you actually had to ban that account. Now, they live, you couldn't see those aliens. You could not see those aliens unless you had glasses on. Once you had the glasses on, you can actually see the aliens that were behind it. Roddy Piper, who was a former wrestler, was trying to tell everybody, hey, look, these guys are aliens, bro. And what did he do? He actually put the glasses on, what was it? The aliens. And he couldn't believe it. So in order to see the aliens, you had to wear the glasses. So what they did was they actually went to the tower. They discovered there was a tower at this news station that actually kept the aliens disguised as humans. Once they destroyed the thing at the end, Roddy Piper died. So did Keith David. They both died. Because, once the aliens found out they were coming to kill them, so they had like a little fighting scene and they both died. But they destroyed the tower that was disguising them. So as soon as the news would show them, you could see the skeleton form of them. The human shield was no longer hiding them. So in theory, you have to think to yourself, wow, like what if aliens existed in that form? Now, there also was another movie you guys should be interested in. It was with, let me type it in, Donald Sutherland movies. And I'm trying to remember, it wasn't Kiefer Sutherland, it was Donald Sutherland. It was not the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That was actually another one that I want to talk about, but that's not the one I was trying to get to, Rick. It was another one. Wasn't Outbreak. No, it wasn't Outbreak. It wasn't Space Cowboys, Rick. No, stop saying that. I'm trying to think what the name of the movie was. No, it wasn't Fallen, even though Fallen was another one that I wanted to get to, not American Haunting. Oh God, what was the name of that movie? I'm trying to think what it was. Basically not Virus, wasn't Virus. The Virus came out in 99. I think it might have been Virus, with the alien, let me see, that might have been it. It might have been Virus, but I'm not sure. Not the Puppet Masters. It might have been Virus, but basically, no, not the Puppet Master. No, it wasn't a Puppet Master, Rick. No, that's totally different. I'm not talking about fucking puppets running around. Here's the thing, man. Okay, here's the thing. Do y'all remember the movie where there were these little like stingrays? It looked like a stingray, and it would hit you in the back. Came off a plane, like a spaceship that crashed. And Donald Sutherland actually had one on his back at the very end of the movie. He was the last person who had it, but this thing would zap you and it would stick these two things in your neck, and it would have it right in its back. And like that's why none of the soldiers would take their shirts off, because those stingray things were zapping them. You see what I'm saying? So to tell you the truth, that was an alien life form too, you know? Another one that I wanted to talk about was Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Invasion of Body Snatchers is a classic. They've had tons of different versions of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I like, Rick said, what is the puppeteer? What, the puppeteers? That might have been it. Okay, Joshua Diaz Nunsdar. If somebody please in there, get rid of this guy. God. All right. Okay. I think it's the Puppet Masters, actually. Not the doll movie, Rick. There's another one called the Puppet Masters. I think that might be it. I'm not sure, but that might be it. But anyways, the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers, was a classic. That was a classic, and I'll actually read the synopsis for you guys if you have never seen the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But the original 1960s film was the best one. A 1956 film, if I'm correct. Yeah, that was right around when the first Godzilla ever came out. Now let me go ahead and read the synopsis for Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Is a baffled when in Santa Myra, California, Dr. Miles Benell, Kevin McCarthy, is baffled when all of his patients come with him with the same complaint. Their loved ones seem to have been replaced by emotionless imposters. Despite others' dismissive denials, Dr. Benell, his former girlfriend Becky, which was Dana Winter, and his friend Jack King Donovan, soon discovered that the patient's suspicions are true. An alien species of human duplicates grown from the plant-like woods is taken over a small town. This was February 5th, 1956. It was Kevin McCarthy, Dana Winter, Art Hindle, Carolyn Jones, Larry Gates. Give a shout out to Larry Gates. But anyways, that was a really good movie. In the original Body Snatchers, I get broads for days. They send out the same messages, bro. It's the same shit they type. He probably has a phone and he probably has a laptop doing it on both, dude. I mean, that's just ridiculous. This guy has literally no life. But anyways, check this out. Check this out. Invasion of the Body Snatchers was a really scary movie. Imagine alien life forms in the form of organisms traveling down to the earth that is in the naked eye. And these things literally sucking you up while you're asleep. They have allegedly take the form of your body, they recreate it, and then they have these like worm-like things go in your body, and they completely crunch you, and you shrivel up. In the new form, it's not you. It's not you. It's you, but it's not you. And if there's enough of them walking around, and you're a Lone Ranger, and you show emotion, because these things never showed emotion, they would point the finger and go, and all these motherfuckers just start running from nowhere. It's like a fucking like a mating call of some sort. And they were running right after your ass. You know damn well your asses better be running. Bro, I watched the new Body Snatchers that came out. I think it was in the 90s. Okay, that's not Spider, that's somebody else. Remove that, please. Hide user. That's not the real Spider, that's a fake account. And that's not the real Spider, by the way. That's a fake account because Spider has a wrench. Anyways, The Body Snatchers is a very scary movie. They made different forms of that movie. They had the new one with Donald Sutherland. I think that was like a 1999 or 1997 film. That one was really scary too. You guys got to watch The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you haven't seen that, bro, there are alien life forms in space, though. Potentially anything that isn't Earth is alien. Yeah, it's possible. And alien life forms want to trade places with me and be my guest. They might regret it. But the thought that the fact that somebody can actually come and invade and take over your body with another form that looks like you but is not you, and then your original human form dies, bro, that shit is fucking scary. Just the thought of it. So you got Invasion of Body Snatchers, and in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers, they actually caught the shipments before they left. In the one with Donald Sutherland, they never was able to stop them. They had already spread it to Atlanta, Vancouver. Hide that user's account. All right. Anyways, what were the other movies? There was another movie Rick wanted me to point out. You have, I mean, Rick, you got all different types of like movies that interpret aliens. I remember there was a movie that they actually made about, I think it was Neptune or something like that. Sci-fi um movie on space, space on space. I'm trying to look that one up. I think it was an 80s movie. Was it Saturn? I think it was Saturn. Well, believe it or not, they do have Saturn on sci-fi. It's a horror film. It's like a 1970s film. It goes all the way up to 1980. And it's about these astronauts that travel on it's about these astronauts that travel to Saturn, right? And they land on Saturn. Check this out, Rick. I know what movie you're talking about, bro. And it's a horror, it's an old 80s horror film. Hide user off this channel. All right. So basically, in a nutshell, that these astronauts that travel to Saturn to try to take over the planet, bro, there was like an alien that was like hiding in like this little test tube, and they broke it. The alien gets out and it hits somebody in the leg, one of the astronauts in the leg, and they got infected, and it turned them into like a creature. And then once that happened, bro, I'm dead serious. Once that happened, I'm telling you this right now. That was a scary ass movie. It was like the original movie. Alien, 1979 horror film. It was originally like the same, bro. And that's why I'm saying right now, to be honest with you, I think that your divorce is breaking you apart. Josh, I'm sorry to hear about that, bro. Sorry to hear about that. How about the day the earth stood still? Oh, bro, which one? The new one or the old one? War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. Are you talking about War of the Worlds, Rick? The old one. The old one was better. Sorry. The day the earth stood still, I like the first one. Wasn't that movie called Life? Yeah, it was called Life. That was a really good movie, by the way. Really good movie. So believe it or not, people have different interpretations of what aliens are. Yeah, the first one was way better, watching trains go by. Yeah, that's the truth, man. A lot of the movies in Hollywood, how they interpret aliens and stuff, Roswell 51, Roswell, New Mexico, Area 51, and all these, different types of movies, interpret aliens as, either our friend or our enemy. They're God, they're not God, they're demons. And then some people don't believe in any of this stuff. They think it's all fake. Like, my uncle Xenon always told me that Roswell, New Mexico was fake. He said, that's just fake news, man. He said Area 51, he said, yeah, that's probably a station, but I don't believe it. They're actually harvesting aliens there. I don't believe we came in contact with aliens. I was just like, okay. And then Rich said, what do you think about UFO sightings? I mean, honestly, dude, a lot of people come out and say they see UFOs, just like the same thing with Bigfoot. People walk around with cameras and they see like this big ass gorilla coming out of nowhere, like this hairy looking 8-foot monster. They're like, hey, that's a Sasquatch, or that's a Bigfoot, Legend of Bigfoot. And everybody thinks, man, that's just, that could be possible. Same thing with the Loch Ness Monster. Everybody believes in the Loch Ness Monster, that the Loch Ness Monster exists in the sea. Now, believe it or not, I may not believe in the Bigfoot, even though Bigfoot is supposedly supposed to be linked to the missing link. They say Sasquatch, the woolly mammoth. But the thing is that I think that Bigfoot doesn't sound as realistic, but I will say that the Loch Ness Monster does. Now, you're probably going to think, well, the reason why that, the Loch Ness Monster is fake is because you could tell it looked like an engine and it was running something. But to be honest with you, in terms of marine life, they say every day we find new species and new life forms in the ocean. We find new forms of fish, new forms of marine life. Rather, even like coral reef, we find new forms of coral reef and all different types of marine life that are all the way down in the bottom of the ocean. So when you see those fish and all that, you got to think there's got to be more down there. Like many people believe in Megalodon, that Megalodon is not dead. Some people say that shark still exists. That's a prehistoric dinosaur-like shark that's existed for over 450 million of all time. They find teeth where his teeth fall out. And to this day, they find teeth still to this day. Still to this day, they find teeth. So they're saying that he sheds and then he grows new teeth like a baby that goes from baby teeth all the way to adult teeth. They say that the Megalodon has 5 different sets of teeth that it goes in stages. Think about that. And they find teeth all the time in the ocean that's linked to him. Teeth that are this fucking big. And they say he's still alive to this day. They just don't find any evidence other than the teeth. Now, many people say, well, the researchers say, well, that possibly is, buried teeth in the ground that might have came up through erosion. That's possible. It could be fossils that could have been dug up. Other animals had buried their eggs there or something, and other fish buried their eggs there and dug up something. I mean, it's possible. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of miles in the deep waters of the ocean. All those are possibilities, but it's just, to me, it's hard to believe as big as the ocean is. Atlantic, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, Mediterranean Sea, the West Nile. I mean, you can name all these different forms of oceans around the earth. You got to figure that there's more than just what we've seen above and below water. That there's some people say the lost city of Atlantis is still around, that it's underneath thousands of hundreds of feet of the city, and there's a civilization that lives under there. Allegedly, there is a civilization that lives in the center of the earth. You guys ever seen the movie? And this is what Rick's telling me right now. Rick says, you ever seen the movie To the Center of the Earth? Yeah, I have. That was a very good movie too. Allegedly, there's been movies made about Hitler's army still lives down there. Maybe Hitler's living in the center of the earth. They say allegedly he found a hole that led down there in Russia. I wouldn't doubt it. Maybe there are people that are living under there, but because of the pressurized air and the pressurized water, that they cannot get out of that area, they would die. Like, for example, there's different types of marine life that can only live in the deep parts of the ocean, because as you rise up, so does the water pressure. So does the pressure. So they're used to the water pressure. So does the pressure. So they're used to living in a certain environment. You completely take them out of that element. Do you know by the time they hit the water, they die? Isn't that crazy thinking about it? That if you captured a certain fish that lived far under the ocean and you drag that thing up thinking, man, I'm going to keep it as a pet. When you bring it up to the ocean, even if you put it in water, it's dead, because it was used to the environment of living thousands of feet below. That's why when we travel, when you have scuba divers and all that, they can only go so many feet. They can only go at a certain rate of speed. They can only be underwater for certain lengths of time. There's a reason for that, because of the pressurized water. As you go further down, it's not livable and sustainable for human life. So you got to figure to all the marine life and everything that lives down there, it's the same thing, them going up as we go down. They've adapted to that way of life. We've adapted to this way of life. Isn't that crazy how that works? There's like rules and, all this certain stuff, and you got to think to yourself, man, I mean, that's crazy when you think about it. Like, think about it. When people are talking about are there extraterrestrial life forms outside the Earth, we haven't even discovered everything that's on Earth. Mainly at the bottom of the ocean. Now, let's go ahead just for shits and giggles and see what how many species have we discovered? How many species are not discovered yet? Are not discovered. Let's just say for shits and giggles. Okay, I'll read it to you guys. Let's go over it. It says most of the world's species remain undiscovered by science. Biologists have described and classified 1.7 million plants and animals as of 2010. Less than 1/4 of the total species estimate in the world. Scientists figure there are still over 5 million species waiting to be found. So think about that. We've discovered 1.7 million species on Earth. There's still 5 million more that have not been discovered. Think about that. That means we've only discovered in millions of years the Earth went by. Now, granted, technology has been as old as we are, or not has been that old, right? Technology's really only started to gotten better the last 20, 30, 40 years. So in theory, you got to think, okay, we've discovered 1.7 million species. There's still over 5 million we haven't discovered. Dude, we haven't even touched half of the discovery, let alone full discovery. Think about that. But this makes this conversation fascinating because what if Bigfoot's one of them? What if the Loch Ness Monster is one of them? What if the Chupacabra is one of them? What if Frankenstein is one of them? Hypothetically speaking, we have not discovered everything yet. What if Megalodon is one of them? What if alien life form is one of them? Down in the ocean, thousands upon thousands of feet, we have not discovered every living mammal. Think how that sounds. In fact, let's go ahead and look up Megalodon real quick. Even though we're talking about aliens, but let's talk about Megalodon. Okay, the legend of Megalodon. I think that's his name. Megalodon is a shark. Okay. Megalodon comes from the Orthodox megalodon, meaning big tooth. Remember I talked about his big teeth? Big tooth is an extinct species of the shark that lived approximately 23 to 3.6 million years ago. During early Miocene in the Pliocene, it was formerly thought to be a member of the family Lamindae and a closer relative to the great white shark. Okay. Here's the thought. Everybody's saying that. Let's see if he's still alive. Is Megalodon still alive? But could Megalodon still exist? It's definitely not alive in deep oceans, despite what Discovery Channel has said in the past. Notes EMA. If an animal is as big as Megalodon still lived, the ocean would know about it. Not necessarily, because again, 5.7 million species have not been discovered. What killed Megalodon? Past research suggests that Megalodon went missing 2.6 million years ago alongside a wave of marine extinction, potentially caused by a supernova that triggered several climate and biodiversity changes during this time. Okay, so maybe it has something to do with the tectonic plates. Is Megalodon a dinosaur? Even though Megalodon and dinosaurs are both extinct, they never coexisted. The dinosaurs died out about 66 million years ago. Megalodons came later. The oldest Megalodon fossil are from the Miocene epoch, began 23 million years ago. Have they ever found a Megalodon skeleton? Rick said. Let me look that up. Fossils remain of Megalodon have been found in shallow tropical and temperature seas along the coastlines and continental shelf regions of the continents except Antarctica. Obviously, it was too cold. What is bigger than Megalodon? When it comes to size, the blue whale dwarfs even the largest Megalodon estimates. It's believed blue whales can reach a maximum length of 110 feet, which is 34 meters, and weigh up to 200 tons, which is over 400,000 pounds. How fast can the Megalodon swim? It says in 2015, a study linking shark size and typical swimming speed estimates that Megalodon would have typically swum at 18 kilometers per hour, which is 11 miles an hour. Assuming that the body mass was typically 48 metric tons, 53 short tons, which is consistent with the other aquatic creatures of size, such as the fin whale. Okay, so it goes too fast. What is the biggest megalodon ever found? Rick said. Let me look that up. Give me a second. Okay. It says a massive 7 1/4 inch serrated shark tooth was found in the coastal riverbed in South Carolina by a fossil hunter, Vito Bertucci. The fossil tooth belongs to Carcharodon megalodon, a prehistoric 70-foot, 70,000-pound version of our modern day great whale. Wow. That is pretty fascinating. When they discover stuff like this. Now you got to figure that you have to figure, okay, that 1.7 million species have been found, right? It's common sense. But over 5 million haven't. That scientists believe are still around. Hey, bro, I'm not texting you, man. You can message me on Instagram, but I'm gonna delete that. I'm not texting that number, bro. Nothing personal. I'll remove that message, but I'm not texting that number. If you want to hit me up, you can hit me up on my Instagram. I don't give my phone number out, bro. I only deleted your number. I didn't delete you. I don't believe in those dinosaurs like they say. Well, Jennifer, I mean, it could be true. I mean, we definitely have, dip 5.7 or over 5 million species that we haven't discovered yet that's still swimming in the ocean. Okay, Nunsdar, you're getting deleted. Unfucking believable, this guy. All right, so let's go ahead and look up aliens. Why not? What type of aliens are there other than Scientology? Why not? Well, why not just the list of alleged extraterrestrial beings according to Wikipedia. You have the Flatwoods Monster, which is a tall humanoid with a space-shaped head. Let's click on him and see what he looks like. Now, you guys can't see this, but artist impression of a Flatwoods Monster. He believes to be located in West Virginia. So apparently, guys, and I'm going to go ahead and copy and link and put this in the chat room. Check this out, guys. That right there, check on that, Riley, all you guys, if you see that link, is the Flatwood, also known as the Braxton County Monster of the Plantum of Flatwoods, a West Virginia folktale, is an entitled report to have been sighted in the town of Flatwoods in Braxton County, West Virginia, United States, September 12, 1952, following the appearance of a bright object crossing the night sky. Nearly 50 years later, investigators concluded the light was a meteor and was a creature of the barn owl perched in a tree, the shadows making it appear to be a large humanoid. The history: at 7:15 p.m., September 12, 1952, two brothers, Edward and Fred May, and their friend Tommy Heiler said that they saw a bright object cross the sky and land in the property of local farmer G. Bailey Fisher. The boys went to the home of Kathleen May. When they told their story, May, accompanied by the Tree Boys, local children, Neil Nunley and Ronnie Shaver, and the West Virginia National Guardsman, Eugene Lehman, went to Fisher Farm in an effort to locate whatever it was the boys said that they had seen. The group reached the top of the hill where Nunley said that they were pulsing red light. where they saw a repulsing red light or a pulsing red light. Lemon said he aimed the flashlight in that direction and momentarily saw a tall man-like figure in a round red face surrounded by a pointy hood-like shape. Descriptions varied in the article. The Flat magazine, based on the tape recording interviews, the UFO writer Gary Barker described the figure as approximately 10 feet tall, with a round blood red face, a large pointed hood-like shape around the face, eyes-like shape, which emitted greenish orange light, and dark black or green body. Caitlin May described the figure as having a small claw-like hands, clothing like folds, and a head that resembled an ace of spades. Wow. According to the story, when the figure made a hissing sound as it glided towards the group, Lemon screamed and dropped his flashlight, causing the group to run away. The group said they had smelled a pungent mist, and some later said they were nauseated. The local sheriff and deputy had been investigating reports of a crashed aircraft in the area. The search site of the reported monster, but saw, heard, and smelling nothing, according to Barker's account. The next day, Lee Stewart Jr., the Braxton Democrat, claimed to discover skid marks in the field of an odd, goomly deposit, which were subsequently attributed by a UFO enthusiastic group as evidence of a saucer landing. According to former news editor Hoyt Barn, the newspaper stories were carried throughout the country, radio broadcasts were carried in the large networks, and hundreds of phone calls received from all parts of the country. The National Press Service related the story 11th of the year. Number 11 of the year, Minister Brooklyn came to question of the May family. A Pittsburgh paper sent a special reporter, UFO, and 14 writer Gary Baker and Ivan Sanderson to arrive to investigate. Wow. Wow. That's pretty interesting, huh? Not to change the subject, are you atheist, Steve Rose? I used to be. I used to be an atheist. I was an atheist and promoted atheism on my channel for a long time. Well, I mean, I didn't promote it, but people asked me, they said, "Are you an atheist?" I said, "Yeah, I was at a period of time." And then when COVID hit, sort of, helped me change my demeanor. Do I believe there's a God? I do believe in some sort of higher presence. I do believe that there is some sort of artist and a designer to this artwork that you see here. Us, the land, the sky, that there had to be some sort of designer that designed all this, right? That there had to be some sort of creator here. But the question is, what is it? Many people think that God is a cloud, is a lightness, right? Many people who've had out-of-death experiences said that they saw a light, that they saw figures in the background. Some people said they saw their family members. So the idea that there is some sort of form of transition appears to be the case. Rick says, so why do you guys think that we're here? Rick, and I always wondered that. I mean, think about it. Life is short, right? We don't live that long, right? Okay. The idea that the question has to be answered, I think, takes away from the actual question itself. Think about it. Everybody wonders why we're here, right? But if you think about it, life is short anyway. So we're not here long enough to find out, right? In theory. So even if you lived to be a centenarian, which is a very small percentage of people, let's say, assuming if your health, or if let's say you're lucky to live to 100 years old. Some people live up to 120. According to the Bible, we're supposed to live up to, well, there's different forms. In the Old Testament, we were supposed to live up to hundreds of years. In the New Testament, it says 120. Now, 120 does seem realistic because if you look at all the people that have been living over the last couple hundred years, centenarians are a very small percentage of people. So, by theory, that it seems like in the New Testament that seems more realistic based on the evidence. You don't, but I've never seen evidence of somebody living up to 140, 150, even though people claim they're 200 years old, but they don't have the documentation to prove it. They don't have the documentation. And they look like they're fucking 50 when they say this. And I'm like, that's not possible. Like, that's not humanly possible to be 200 years old and you look like me. Like, there's no way. You would have to be like almost falling apart in your chair to think that. I mean, even little paws, look at him. A cat's lifespan is typically 10 to 15 years. So little paws, he has no clue he's going to die. And see, that's the thing. Little paws can live up to maybe 20. I had a cat that lived up to 21 years old. She was born in 1992. She died in 2013. She was 21 years old. Some cats in China and all these other places in Asia, they live up to 30. They live up to 30 years old. That's very rare for a cat to live up that long. You know? It's very rare for a cat to live that long. The longest cat, Rick, I had was a little girl. She lived up to 21. She died about 3 months before her 22nd birthday. She would have been 22 by the time she died. So, in theory, like, we don't live long enough to find out. That's why I say it's irrelevant. Now, let's say if we were here forever. Let's say if we lived up to 500 years. Let's say we lived up to 700 years. Let's say we lived up to 800 years. Then we could probably ask those questions like, well, what are we supposed to do for 800 years? What am I supposed to do here for 700 years? Am I just supposed to work every day and that's it? I mean, like, what else is there to life? Right? I mean, if I'm living up to 800 years, let's say humans lived up to 1,000 years. Like, you know, like trees live up to 500 to 1,000 years. Tortoises live up to 200-300 years. I'm thinking to myself, well, if I'm going to live that long, what is my purpose? Like, what is the purpose to live that long? I think, to tell you the truth, it never really was meant for us to find out. Yeah, look, it is cute. Look, Josh. Hello, hello. And the thing about cats is they don't have the ability. They don't have the ability to know when they're going to die. We humans, we have the brain to develop that we know that our time is going to be out one day. We have the ability to think like that. Animals, to the most part, they don't know. So at least for this cat here, when he goes peacefully because he doesn't know it's coming. For us humans, we know death is near. Think about it. We know that our time is going to soon run out one day. For some of us, we live long lives. For some of us, we live short. Rick said, yeah, Stephen, I get what you're saying. I graduated from high school. When did you graduate, Rick? How old are you, like 44? Okay, yeah, so you graduated a long time ago. Rick said, I graduated over 25 years ago, Rose, smart ass. And I've lost at least over 30, 40 friends from my high school class from then. Yeah, I mean, that's part of life, Rick. I mean, I graduated a lot less than you did, but, you know, but I've already lost at least 10 friends from high school between the ages of hell, I knew a girl in middle school that hung herself. Real talk. She hung herself. I knew another girl that had a diabetic seizure when she was in the shower and passed away. And she was in 8th grade. That in itself, if you think about it, you don't know like when it's your time. And you see some people die at a really young age. And you have no clue when it's your time. You just all you know is that it's gonna come. It could be 2 days from now, hell, it could be 2 years, it could be 20. It could be 40. I look at it like this. I used to worry a lot about what happens after death. What's the transition like? What is God? Is there a God? Am I going to hell? Am I not going to hell? It's like that old saying. Rick says, it's like that old saying, Mr. Rose, everyone wants to die. Everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. Yeah, I mean, you can make that argument, Rick. You can make that argument. Well, watch trans go, boy. Man, tell you the truth, I would love to live up to 800 years. I mean, that would be so cool if we could do that. And that would be cool if you could get shot and survive at all costs and just get up and go to work like it's the next day. Yeah, when there's death, there's also life. Yeah, I agree. Honestly, man, I think there's really no answer to it, Rick. I think that we just live and die, man. I don't. But Rick said, well, is there? Let me hide that user. Rick says, so okay. Yeah, I deleted that one. So what do you think, Jennifer? I know you're in here still, right? What do you think about all this? What do you think the meaning to life is? Is it just to live and die? What do you guys think? When there's death in your family, you're sad and you look to grieve after you feel liberated. It's excited, almost like a spiritual awakening, because it makes you rethink your life and change. Yes, Aries Sunday, that is true. Like I knew a lot of my friends who died from addiction and overdose and drug abuse. I knew some friends who died, and it always told me like to never get involved with drugs. Now, a lot of you could say, well, weed is a drug, but I don't think so. I think weed is a medicinal use. People use it for medicine, as opposed to people who do meth and, fucking hardcore drugs. I've seen people die a lot faster from that than smoking weed. Yeah, weed isn't a drug, Riley. I agree. But I'm saying for those people who say it is, well, if you do the comparison, weed doesn't kill you like meth does or crack or opioids, pills. I know people in my family. My father's an addict. My father's a pillhead. I know that's embarrassing to admit, but my old man's a pillhead. That's the reason why me and him don't get along. That's the reason why I don't live with him. The reason why I live with my aunt. When me and my dad don't get along because my dad's been an addict. My dad's an addict and a severe alcoholic. But it reminds me, it tells me, hey, look at this position he's in. You know, I'll drink every now and then. I like to have a drink here and there, not all the time, but think to myself, you know, maybe, just maybe, I shouldn't get involved in drugs. I shouldn't get involved in too much drinking. Look at my dad. Look at his situation. And then you just got to go from there and say, when you see people die of like drug overdose and stuff and like drug abuse, especially, it reminds you, gives you that mental reminder, you don't want to go down that road. So, like, it's one thing to die, and it's one thing that you're killing yourself. Now I know you can say, well, what about overeating and stuff? And yeah, that's true. You can die from, overeating and stuff like that. That's why I reduced my weight down. That's why I brought my weight down. Now, could I still bring it down more? Sure. But, at the same time, you have to watch what you eat too. You have to treat your body as a temple. Now, I know that's a little bit easier said than done for me, because I've grew up my whole life eating the wrong food. But ultimately, you have to watch what you eat too. Alcoholics suck, man. My grandfather was one, and I had to carry him to his bed because he passed out on the floor. Yep, that's the same thing with my old man. You have to be good to people. You have to love people and love your life, love who you're willing to die for, and become ghost in limbo. Yay, Jennifer. That means when I die, I'm going to haunt you. Let's see. But what happens when we die? That's a good question, because as we know, as energy just keeps transferring, surely we don't die. The energy must go somewhere. Exactly, Aries. I think our energy transfers somewhere. Like, for example, I have a buddy of mine who's a Hindu, right? Now we're on this conversation of religion. And in the Hindu religion, they believe in many gods. They believe in reincarnation as well. And one of the things he was telling me was that depending on the choices you made in life, it renders where you go next. So, for example, you might be a shitty, foul, scumbag human being, but you might make a great watchdog. So, in other words, you being a rotten piece of shit in your life carries on to the next, sort of like a penalty. So you end up becoming a dog in the next life, or like this cat here. Hi, this user. So, anyways, in theory, you have to assume that if you're bad on Earth, it could penalize you going to the next life. But you wouldn't retain memory. Yeah, Raleigh, I agree. I'm not trying to get all religious on you guys, because again, I was an atheist for like 5 years. And then I found God during COVID, because I thought COVID was going to kill us all, which still could. I thought to myself, of all the bad things going on in this world, I mean, there are good people, don't get me wrong, but all the bad things going on and people are fighting this and that. If you don't get faith, some sort of faith, during this time of crisis, pandemic, you have to ask yourself, you know what? When is it going to be a good time? Right? Because you have to ask yourself, if I don't believe in something, even during a time of pandemic like this, where it could potentially kill us all, this would be the best time to believe in something, even if it's not what everybody else believes in. You have to believe that there's something outside of this planet. You have to believe there's something outside of this universe. You have to believe something. That's what keeps faith in store. That's what keeps you motivated. You have to believe in something. And that's when I found God during COVID. I was an atheist all up until then. So, yeah. All right, what do I think about? So do you guys believe? If you guys are from West Virginia, have y'all ever heard of the Flatwoods Monster? Let's go ahead and go to some more monsters. You got the Greys, also known as, also spelled Greys, the Roswell Incident. Okay, let's go to the Roswell. The Greys is an alien that was found in Roswell. It's a gray skinned humanoid, usually 3 to 4 feet tall, hairless with large heads, black almond shaped eyes, nostrils without a nose, slits for mouths, no ears, and 3 to 4 fingers, including a thumb. Grays have been predominant extraterrestrial beings for alleged alien contact since the 1960s. Now let's go ahead and read about the Roswell UFO incident, which I have Roswell on here in the title. Let's go over that real quick. Rick, thank you for the article, bro. I'm going to read it. The Roswell UFO incident in popular lore refers to the rumors and speculations regarding the July 1947 United States Army Air Force's balloon crash at the ranch near the Roswell, New Mexico. Following local press interest in debris gathered from the crash site and rumors that the debris came from a flying disc, the United States military stated that the crash object was merely a conventional weather balloon. Interest subsequently waned until the 1970s when ufologists began promoting a variety of increasingly elaborate conspiracy theories, claiming that one or more alien spacecrafts have crash landed on an extraterrestrial occupants had been recovered by the military, which then engaged in a cover-up. In the 1990s, the U.S. military pushed 2 reports disclosing the true nature of crash objects, a nuclear test surveillance balloon from Project Mongol. Project Mongol was a top secret project by the U.S. Army Air Force involving microphones flown over high altitude balloons, whose primary purpose was long distance detection of sound waves generated by a Soviet atomic bomb test. The project carried out from 1947 until 1949, the classified portion, also known as the movie The Hills Have Eyes. Okay, well, you learn a lot. Nevertheless, the Roswell incident continues of interest in popular media, and the conspiracy theories surrounding the event persist. Roswell has been described as the world's most famous, most exhaustively investigated, and most thoroughly debunked UFO claim. Okay. Let me see what it says in terms of the rumors. Let me go ahead. Event, essentially, they said it was a hot air balloon that essentially the UFO crash at Roswell 1991. In 1991, Kevin Randall and Donald Shipp published UFO at Roswell. They added 100 new witnesses, altered and tidied the narrative, and included several sinister new twists. Crash at Corona 1992, The Truth About the UFO Crash at Roswell 1994. These are all books and movies that came out. Wow. Although there is no evidence, check this out, recent interest. Although there is no evidence that the UFO crashed at Roswell, believers firmly hold to the belief that one did, and the truth has been concealed as a result of a government conspiracy. DJ Golenberg had called the Roswell incident the world's most famous, most exhausted, investigated, and thoroughly debunked UFO claim. All right, so what do you guys believe? Do you believe in Roswell? Do you believe that took place? What do you guys think? Do you really think that um, Roswell's legit? Do you think the crash happened? Do you think it's a hoax? Do you think it's a cover up? The United States military is saying it's a balloon, a hot air balloon. What do you guys think? I like to hear what you guys think. Yeah, The Hills Have Eyes is a creepy movie. I gotta be honest, I can't watch that movie on my own. You know, Aries Sun, The Hills Have Eyes is one of the most scariest fucking movies I've ever seen, bro. Josh D, look, listen, dude. I'm not trying to be a dick. Now's not the time to talk about that. We're talking about something totally. You're seriously off topic, dude. I'm not trying to be mean, but you're. I have to think you're trolling because you're coming here and you're mentioning topics that don't even pertain to what we're talking about. If you're not going to stick to the topic subject, you might want to go to somebody else's channel, dude. I'm not trying to be mean. Well, then you call the police. Then that's all I can tell you. Just call the cops on your wife. She keeps hitting you. Domestic violence charge. There you go. What do you want to tell you, dude? That has nothing to do with what the topic of conversation is anyway. Why are you talking about something that doesn't even pertain to what the fuck I'm talking about? Unbelievable, these trolls. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to go over Area 51 real quick. Area 51, that's, well, they have many films on it, Rick. It's not just one for a particular thing. Let's go ahead and go over it in Wikipedia. All right, well, it's an air base in Lincoln County, Nebraska. Area 51 is a common name of the highly classified United States Air Force facility located within Nevada Test and Training Range, a remote detachment administered by Edwards Air Force Base. The facility is officially called Honley Airport or Groom Lake. Its elevation is 4,462. It was built in 1955 as Paradise Ranch. It's in use since 1955 to present, operated by the U.S. Air Force, controlled by the Air Force Material Command, and owner's Department of Defense. And it even says I can catch a plane flight there, and it will only take 3 hours and 19 minutes for $115. Okay, let's go ahead and click on it. Let's go a little bit into Area 51 real quick. How about them Rockets? Adam Anderson, that ain't you, bro. Oh, wait. Adam Anderson, they won the other day. You don't believe in the Roswell crash? Aries, son, if you message that guy, he's just going to blow you up. He's a damn troll, dude. Area 51 is Area 51 is a very unique story. Let me go ahead and go over it. Area 51 is commonly named highly classified United States Air Force facility located in Nevada Test and Training, a remote detachment administered by Edwards Air Force Base. Facility officially called the Homney Airport or Groom Lake. Details of the facility's operation not made public. The U.S. says that it's open to training range and is commonly thorough to support development and testing of experimental aircraft and weapon systems. The USAF acquired the site in 1955 primarily for flight testing the Lockheed U-2 aircraft. Let's see. It says here the intense secrecy surrounding the base has made it frequently subject to conspiracy theories. But the central component of the unidentified flying object, also known as UFO folklore. The base has never been declared a secret base, but all researchers and occurrences in Area 51 top secret sensitive compartmented information, TSSCI. The CIA publicly acknowledged the existence of the base for the first time June 25th, 2013, following a Freedom of Information Act FOIA request file in 2005. And at the same time, they declassified documents detailing the history and purpose of Area 51. Area 51 is located in the southern portion of Nevada, 83 miles, 134 kilometers from northwest of Las Vegas. The surrounding area is a popular tourist destination, including the smallest town of Rachel on the Extraterrestrial Highway. Rachel is a census designated place, CPD or CDP, in Lincoln County, Nevada, United States. As of 2010, the census of a population of 54. As the closest settlement to the Nellis Air Force Range of Area 51. Rachel enjoys a modest celebrity status, particularly among aviation enthusiasts and UFO hunters. So there's a small town that's right outside called Rachel, and 54 people live in that city. And the crazy thing is, the base is called Area 51. Wow. I mean, what a coincidence. Little Paws, do you believe that? Do you believe that, little boy? And he's in disbelief too. He can't believe it. And officials say there's nothing to see here. You can literally go right there. Dirt, dirt, nothing said here. As if conspiracy theories are meant to be transparent. Let's see. A classmate of mine, dad, went in the Area 51 because he was under contract to fix fire sprinklers. And something she said, there's a bunch of armed guards in front of the super secret stuff. Everything's underground. Conspiracy fact, a group of people that collaborate in collusion to achieve an objective. It's logical to think conspiracies do not exist. You know, believe it or not, you got Democratic conspiracy theorists, you got Republican conspiracy theorists. I mean, you got all types of different types of conspiracy theorists that exist, you know. So, you know, a lot of people have their different beliefs of it. I mean, some people believe in UFOs. That in itself is a conspiracy. You know, some people don't believe in God. That could be a conspiracy. You know, nobody knows what that means. They're doing the undercover crap. They may be, or maybe they have some high tech weapons there that we don't know about, like a spaceship or something. Maybe they did find a spaceship, but not the aliens, and they can use that spaceship if we ever went to war. You know, let's say the aliens try to take over, we can use those actual spaceships to fight against them. I mean, I'm just saying because some conspiracy theorists believe that. Like you saw the movie, what was it? Independence Day. And remember when the president was saying that trust me, I've been in office for this long. There's no such thing as Area 51. And the guy that was next to him kind of looked down and he said, Mr. President, that's not entirely accurate. And then one of the commanders said, which part? And he literally took the president to Area 51. And he said, why wasn't I debunked on this? Why wasn't I told about this? And he said it was under classified information. I wasn't supposed to tell you about Area 51. And remember, they go inside of Area 51 and there were aliens inside of there, like inside of those tanks. But who knows? And they never allow anybody in there. And the people that are running the shit, they're definitely not talking. So it's got to wonder, man. Usually when you have a lot of people know, right? There's always a lot of people like that work there, right? There's got to be a number of people. So for all those people to not talk to their family members or anything is very odd. That means to tell me there's either not that many people at that facility or perhaps, you know, they're sworn in secrecy. I don't know. It's going to be one of those mysteries. Rick said, remember when they talked about storming Area 51 and that went viral a couple of years ago? Yeah. Everyone talked about storming Area 51 to get to the truth. I'll never forget about that. And they said they were going to get 1 million people and just rush the gates. I don't think the military would shoot at them. But you got to remember, I mean, 1 million people charging the gates, there's no way you'd be able to stop all of them. So in theory, you got to think if we really did something like that, like let's say for shits and giggles, we had 10 million people rush the gates. There's no way they'd be able to stop us. No way. I mean, they would kill some of us, but they wouldn't stop all of us. And then we'd break and storm it down and find out for ourselves. And of course, I don't think people would do that. You classified knowledge because it equals power. It's what gives direct to the action you want. Actually, the first Roswell case is technically declassified. Been more than 50 years. Okay. Damn. The elites are at least 25 to life years ahead of what we ever know, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree too, Adam. You could be correct. There are troll accounts of me in here. Well, I believe it. Well, obviously, when someone goes out of line and says something crazy, then I'll know which account is which. Let's see what else was in this topic that I wanted to talk about. Let's see, and more on Area 51. Let's see. Yeah, in 2019 they talked about storming Area 51. You can't stop all of us. The raid Area 51, which Facebook that event that's supposed to take place September 20th, 2019 at Area 51, United States Air Force facility within the test range. Yeah, I remember that shit. I'm gonna click on the actual on Rachel. Area 51 border and warning signs stating that photography is prohibited and that the use of deadly force is authorized. Wow. For them to say that, I think that there has to be something there they're hiding. And it says here, Area 51 viewed from distant Taboo Peak. I mean, I could see Area 51 from a distance. Somebody used a drone, but wow. I mean, you got to figure there's something in there. If they're saying deadly force is authorized, right? You have to figure, okay, well, there's something in it. All right, let's go to the small town of Rachel. It's called the Extraterrestrial Highway. It says Rachel, the census designated place in Lincoln County, Nevada. It has population 54. It's the closest settlement to the Nels Air Force Base, Area 51. It says Rachel is over 100 miles north of Vegas in the Great Basin Desert. Nevada Highway Stretch 375. In Nevada, a tiny town receives a substantial number of visitors and tourists. Cater a small tourist shop, a 12-room motel, and an alien-themed restaurant, and a bar called Little Alien. Little and then A apostrophe capital L E apostrophe capital INN. And it says several unpaved roads near Rachel lead to 375 to the boundary of Area 51. Rachel resident, which Rachel's the name of the small town, by the way. Rachel's residents population generally numbers around 50, and some of them involved in ranching. Most of the year round, inhabitants live near in mobile homes. Rachel has never had a post office. The children are abused to Alamo, which is an unincorporated town in Lincoln County, Nevada, United States, about 90 miles north of Vegas. En route of 93, its elevation is its population of 1,080, and it says approximately 50 miles, 80 kilometers away for school. The north of the town is Quinn Canyon Range, that has a ghost town of Evasion. Adavan. Let's click on that real quick. I want to see what Adavan is. Okay, it says Adavan is located in the Quinn Canyon Range, located 30 miles north from Rachel. A village was founded in the late 1890s. The post office was named Sharp from 1901 to 1939, when it was renamed Adavan, Nevada backwards. Okay, Nevada backwards. Okay, sounds right. In 1953, the post office was closed. Thereafter, the town was abandoned. A few buildings and ranches remain in the 21st century. Wow, that's pretty cool. And of course, in this small town, it's a ghost town. No one lives there. Kind of creepy if you think about it. All right, back to Rachel. The early years. Rachel was founded in May 1973 by a local alfalfa after the farmer named DCJ. The community was first known as Tempute Village and then later as Sand Springs. On February 15th, 1978, the town was renamed Rachel after the first baby born in the valley, Rachel Jones. 1978 to 1980. Rachel Jones died May 24th, 1980 at the age of 2, In memory of her, Rachel residents created the cemetery in Memorial Park. Rachel Jones was not buried at Rachel Cemetery. Electricity arrived at Rachel on March 22nd, 1978, just roughly 1 month after the town was first created. Supplied the Pioneer Valley by the Pioneer Valley Electric Cooperative or Comparative. In 1980, the Rachel Baptist Mission, Rachel's only church, began service and donated mobile homes. Since then, a part-time pastor has come to Rachel for religious services every Sunday morning. Wow. Well, here goes Rachel's history to Area 51. Mid-air collision. The year is 1986. All right, good night, Logan. Take care. All right, it says the year is 1986, guys. The month is July 10th. So July 10th, 1986, we're going to go through a little time machine. Okay. It's July 10th, 1986. It's approximately 4:10 p.m. Two F-16s of the Norway Air Force collided in midair while participating in red flag exercises near Rachel. One of them crashed within Rachel, only 25 yards from the edge of Mobile Home Park. The pilot of downed fighter had ejected safely before the crash, and the other F-16 made it back to Nellis Air Force Base. Apparently, the pilot of the F-16 sustained no minor injuries. He was transported from the site within 20 minutes of the crash by a U.S. Air Force helicopter. In recent events in 1995, Rachel Baptist Mission moved into a permanent building, the same site it occupied previously. And it says in 2006, KFC created a giant company logo on the ground in the north edge of Rachel and claimed to be the first logo visible from space. That's funny. Constructed in early November, it took 6 days to assemble 65,000 color tiles, 87,000 square feet of flat desert terrain. The logo also had a hidden message on the tie of the area logo that featured the imposter colonel holding a sign over his head, finger looking good. Okay. Rachel was featured in an episode of Lewis Theory's Weird Weekends, which covered the UFO subculture. Rachel was mentioned in a 2-part episode of The X-Files entitled Dreamland, in which a sergeant agent aware of the hidden backstory of the show, played by Michael John McKean, resided in the town. It was also a key place in the first-person shooter game Black Site Area 51. Wow. 1996, producers of the movie Independence Day, which filmed some of the scenes in Rachel, gave the town a time capsule. Wow. Which is installed near the inn and the intended to be open in 2050. Okay, so let me get this straight. It says here, the producers of the movie Independence Day, which filmed some of the scenes in Rachel, gave the town a time capsule, which is installed near the inn and intended to be open in 2050. Begin in 2019, September 2019, the day before Area 51 mine raid, people were reported showing up and camping around Rachel in preparation of the raid, or for the raid. Now, allegedly, think about this. Allegedly, there's a time capsule in the small town of Rachel, which is located 23 miles from the Air Force base and, well, from Nels Air Force, run by this facility known as Area 51. So, in theory, Rachel's just 20 miles outside of Area 51. Got a big tourist attraction, right? They got a bunch of hotels. They got a nice little bar, nice little restaurant with alien little collections and artifacts you can collect. They even try to raid the store, Area 51 by camping out in this small town. Just think, Independence Day film some scenes there. I think it's fascinating that you learn this stuff. Like, all this is fascinating to me. I think this is very fascinating to learn all this stuff. I'm wondering if the city of, or the town of Rachel, really possesses this time capsule, because allegedly there is a time capsule that was put in this town, and there's a picture of it, and allegedly it's supposed to be opened in the year 2050. That's how many years from now? 31, 41, 51. So in 29 years from now. Oh yeah, I'm about to head out too, Jennifer. In 29 years, this town of Rachel will open a time capsule. Now, if that doesn't make you wonder, I don't know what does. Interesting topic, Mr. Rose, Rick says. Rick, I agree, bro. We need to take a trip to Rachel and go take a look at that time capsule. What do you think? My next video, I'm going to talk about Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and, old folk tales like that. And we're going to find out. Yeah, I'm about to go too, bro. And it was fun chatting with all you guys. I love all you guys, by the way. And this was fun. This was a fun chat tonight. Very interesting. Do I believe alien life forms exist? I do believe so, Rick. I just don't know if they look like the ones that we make them out to be. Maybe they're totally different. What about ghosts? Have you ever seen any experiences, Stephen? No, I've never seen a ghost. But I've seen, we have haunted houses down here. The old Robinson home is a haunted house. But I've been in the house. I've never seen any ghosts. You see all these paranormal activity shows and stuff. Ghost hunters and all that stuff. Everybody wonders that shit's really true. Who knows? So did you guys have fun tonight? Did I have a good chat? Did you guys have an interesting chat with me, man? Like I said, Rick says, you better take your fucking ass to bed, essay, when you get off. I am, bro. I am. As soon as I get off this motherfucker, man, I'm going taking my ass straight to bed. May I get a mod next stream? We'll see, man. Like I said, I'm very nervous about giving out mods right now because I don't trust too many people. I don't know who Nunsdar is pretending to be, and God knows, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know right now, man. Maybe if I got to know you for a little bit, man, maybe I'll give you one, I'll probably do a mod stream, Rick. I'll probably do another stream tomorrow, Rick. I'll talk about Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and the Chupacabra, stuff like that you wanted me to discuss. I'm going to do a little bit of homework on these animals, and then, go from there and say, do I believe in it? Do I not? I might go into Megalodon a little bit more and go from there. Yeah. The drag bet's coming up soon, bro. I'll pay that off. Like I said, I already got the wig and the lipstick. I just need to get the dress and everything. As soon as I get that locked down, dude, I'll pay that shit, bro. Like I said, it's just right now my whole car and everything. I've been trying to, work that out, get that done. That's been a slow process. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. Oh man, we all need a vacation, man. This was a good stream tonight, man. I really enjoyed it, and it was fun. I don't think we're alone on this earth. No, obviously not, Rick. But like I said, I just don't know what else to have. But I think we, before I leave, I think we could get man on the moon. I think that we could get man on Mars. Just a trip to the moon, bro, is 4 days, less than 4 days. They said it was like 3.5 days to get to the moon. So if we can get to the moon and we got the technology to do it, why aren't we doing it? The moon is only a 3.5 day trip. That's not that long. Hell, it takes 24 hours to get to San Diego from Houston. So that's like equivalent to driving to San Diego back to San Diego. Trust me, we can make this trip happen, bro. we can get to the moon. Do you guys believe we've been to the moon? Oh, God. You know what? I'll cover that in my next stream. I'll go more on the moon and the more on Mars and shit like that. We'll go more into that into tomorrow's stream, and go over that a little more. I'm just tired, bro. It's finally getting me, man. Finally getting to me. So if you guys are going to be on tomorrow, I'm going to be on. Y'all guys want to hit me up? Hit me up. I got my Instagram. Just hit me up on there. Until next time, I guess I'm going to go ahead and sign up out of here. So you guys take care. All right. Bye.